Hello, loves, and welcome. Welcome to story time today. And today we're going to be having a tea party. And as you can see, I've welcomed my good friend Pooh and my good friend Teddy. And we're going to have a tea party, and we're going to read a lovely story that I think you will find to be brilliant. And so first off, let me get my friends their spot of tea so that we can begin. Here we go, Teddy. Lovely. And Pooh? And let me top off mine as well. All right. Must add my sugar and my cream. There we go. All right. Now we're ready. We may begin. All right, friends, my book today that I'm going to be sharing with you is called Miss Spider's Tea Party. It is written and illustrated by David Kirk, and with permission from Scholastic, I will be reading Miss Spider's Tea Party. Shall we begin? Here's our cover page, Miss Spider's Tea Party. One lonely spider sipped her tea while gazing at the sky. She watched the insects on the leaves and many flying by. If I had friends like these, she sighed, who'd stay a while with me? I'd sit them down on silken chairs and serve them cakes and tea. Two timid beetles, Ike and May, crept from the woodwork that same day. But when Miss Spider begged, please stay, they shrieked, oh no, and dashed away. 3 fireflies flew inside that night, their spirits high, their tails alight. They spied the web and squeaked in fear, we'd better get away from here. The little trio did not feel they'd care to be a spider's meal. Yikes. 4 bumblebees buzzed by outside. Please come to tea, Miss Spider cried. The 4 ignored her swaying there. She waved a tea towel in the air. She took a cup and tapped the glass. Then one bee spoke to her at last. We would be fools to take our tea with anyone so spidery. Within the shadows of the room, just peeking from behind a broom, 5 grinning faces bobbed and peered. Miss Spider smiled, her heart was cheered. Descending for a closer look, she danced into the gloomy nook, but sadly found those jolly mugs belonged, alas, to rubber bugs. Some ants strode in, they numbered 6, but ants with spiders will not mix. She brewed them tea from hips of roses, the proud platoon turned up their noses. A little bouquet concealed its prize of 7 dainty butterflies. Miss Spider, watching from the wall, was not aware of them at all. The tea table was set for 8, with saucers, cups, and a silver plate. The cakes were fresh, the service gleamed, yet no one would arrive, it seemed. Her company in no demand left her a cup for every hand. Nine spotted moths, kept safe and warm, in shelter from a thunderstorm. They stood beneath an open sash and watched the jagged lightning flash. Miss Spider dropped down on a thread, a silver tray above her head. She had hoped to please them, but instead They flew away in mortal dread. Poor Miss Spider. I bet she's kind of feeling sad that none of her friends want to have tea with her. I'm so glad my friends came today. Let's see what happens. They've left me all alone, she cried. She dabbed her eyes and sadly sighed. It's plain no bug will ever stay. Her tears splashed down upon the tray. Ten tiny steaming cups of tea were perched atop her trembling knee. She sipped and sobbed, then heard a cough and turned to see a small wet moth. A fragile thing so soaked by rain, his wings too damp to fly again. She smiled and took a checkered cloth to cloak the frail and thankful moth. They talked and snacked on tea and pie until his tiny wings were dry. Then lifting him with tender care, she tossed him gently in the air. The moth told Ike, then Ike told May, who went from bug to say, there is no reason for alarm. She'd never meant us any harm. So later on that afternoon, assembled in the dining room, 11 insects came to tea to share Miss Spider's courtesy. Aww! And there they are, coming to have tea. 12 tender violets in a vase, presented at Miss Spider's place. Set by her chair so neatly spun, she munched the blossoms one by one. Her friends were glad to watch her feast upon the floral centerpiece. It was a great relief to see she ate just flowers and drank just tea. Miss Spider's reputation grew. Before too long, our hostess knew each bug who crawled or hopped or flew, and all their lovely children too. And that is the end of our story. Gosh, Miss Spider looks so happy now. Her friends ended up coming out and having tea with her and sharing that wonderful experience of friendship and fellowship. I hope that you enjoyed Miss Spider's tea party, and maybe you could have a tea party at home or a picnic at home with some of your stuffed friends or your furry friends or even your family if you're up for it. And you can have a fine tea like I've set up. You could have a fun one in the backyard. You could have one anywhere in your house. Just be creative, and maybe you could write down or tell a story about who you would invite to your tea. If you could invite anyone, who would you like to invite to your tea? It could be someone imaginary, it could be a character, it could be someone real, whomever you would like to have at your tea party. So that would be a great idea for something to do with this book. And so I hope that if you do have a party, a tea party, you will let me know, send me a picture, send me a story, whatever it is that you want to share with me. I would love to see it. And until next time, Crusaders, cheerio.